So big homie Neo, man, it's looking like he's on the apology tour too. You know, it's looking
Man,
like
do
he's
they
on the
have a
apology tour
bus?
too.
Do they have a bus? Because it seems like everybody's on an apology tour.
Yeah, this is probably one of the greatest tours of all time. We got we got Neo, we got Jamie Foxx, and you know, rumor has it that Nick Cannon is still apologizing to this day. He's still apologizing to this day. You know, he's still apologizing to this day, you know, over his comments concerning, I guess, the true Hebrew Israelites and the folks that Kanye West is having issues with.
To this day.
He's still apologizing. You know what I'm saying? But man, it's looking like I don't even know too much about this, to be honest. We're about to find out together. But just from what I skimmed through really quick, it looked like Neo got caught up messing around with Vlad. Messing around with Vlad on Vlad TV, man. Let's see. And Vlad got him caught up like he's gotten a lot of people caught up, right?
One of them some burritos.
He is. Vlad is one of them folks. He's one of them folks. He's part of that community that Kanye West is having trouble with. Let me see what they're talking about over here real quick. Grammy-winning musician Neo is voicing his thoughts about kids these days in an interview with Gloria Velez for Vlad TV. Okay, so he didn't speak with Vlad, but one of his associates for it's still Vlad TV nonetheless, right? And we all know what Vlad TV is about. In an interview with Gloria Velez for Vlad TV, the So Sick singer and father of 7, and he got 7 kids, question whether minors should be allowed to receive gender affirming care. I have no, and this is a quote, I guess, from Neo. I have no problem with the LGBT. I have no problem with anybody. Okay. Love who you love. Do what you want to do. Neo prefaced in his stance. I just personally come from an era where a man was a man and a woman was a woman, and there was no two genders. And that's just how I rocked. You can't say stuff like that these days, man. What's wrong with Neil? He didn't get the memo. Let me. He has some other stuff to say too. I feel like parents have almost forgotten what the role of parents is. If your little boy comes to you and says, "Daddy, I want to be a girl," and you just let him rock with that, Neo continued. If you let this 5-year-old little boy eat candy all day, he's gonna do that. Like, when did it become a good idea to let a 5-year-old, let alone a 6-year-old, let alone a 12-year-old make a life-changing decision for themselves? When did that happen? Like, I don't understand that. I mean, I feel like everything that Neo's saying is very practical. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, once again, you can't say these things because now he's on the apology world tour for that stuff. Neo apologizes for comments on parenting and gender identity. I plan to better educate myself on the topic.
What do you need to educate yourself on? Isn't he a parent of 7?
And that's what that man got
I
more kids
mean,
than most.
yeah. I mean, how much
I think he
more
would know about
education do you
parenting
need?
more than exactly. That's really all the education you need is you raising your own children, especially when you got 7 kids, bro. Maybe if you, I mean, not even if you got one, let's be honest, because I got 1 kid. I don't need no education on this kind of stuff.
Listen, Neo
But
went on to Vlad's show, and Vlad
mhm,
specifically asked that question. He probably
mhm,
directed that interviewer to ask that question, and he clipped that part of the interview to put it out on the internet for it to go viral so that he can
mhm.
make some money off of Neo getting dragged. Neo is a simpleton. Neo will go back on the Vlad show at some point because he doesn't even realize what happened. He don't even realize how he got juxed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
And the problem is that a lot of people are like that. I hate to say this, man. I don't feel sorry for him or Jamie Foxx. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all dealing with it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why we need to have value chains. Because if you were, but see, the problem with the value chains is that these, I was talking about this in one of my live streams. A lot of these celebrities, it's not about how much money you have, it's also about who you get your money from. So there's one layer of class where, you know, if you have a total of $1 billion, it's great. But if you get your $1 billion from non-black people, it says something better about you. And so a lot of these people, they don't even want our money. They don't appreciate their black fans. Nobody ever says, like, some black people like R&B, other black people like rap. Man, all the black people listen to my music. Nobody ever says that. The first thing people do when they come out to try to talk about how wide their audience is, people from all over the world, in Asia, in Europe, listen to my music. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel sorry for no clowns like that, man. Like, I don't feel sorry for none of these celebrities, man. Hashtag say sorry, be sorry.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I never considered that what you just said. Because there's, conversations about, you always speak on the value chain, and we don't that's not even something that you need celebrities for, right? That's just
Right.
common for, we can develop that on our own. But when it comes to, like, things like the black dollar and conversations surrounding keeping the dollar circulating in the black community, and the particular conversation around, black celebrities and their unwillingness, it seems, to actually want to be a part of, we'll say, building up the black community, especially those that play the role, right? Because when it comes time to play the role, there's a police shooting or something like that. Oh, that's when it's like safe for them to be black, right? They can say Black Lives Matter, and okay, it's safe now. But outside of that, more times than not, they don't really want anything to do with it. When you criticize them on, like, buying Gucci and stuff like that, coming off of an incident where it's like Gucci employees kick somebody black out the store, even though they got like $1 million to spend cash. You'll see a celebrity going to the Gucci store the next day, and if you question them on it, is, oh, well, how come you putting this on me? The point that I'm trying to make is, and the point that you made that I never thought about before, but that makes all the sense in the world now, they don't value the black dollar. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care about your money. They don't even want your money. The black dollar is only useful as a stepping stone to get to the mainstream. That's it. Because it starts there, right? It starts with I don't care, with every black music, if you're R&B singer or rapper, it starts with the black fan base and the black dollar. That's where it starts. But then that's always used as a stepping stone to get to the mainstream. And once they get to the mainstream, I don't want nothing to do with you.
Right.
They don't want the black dollar, and they don't want to build nothing that's for black people. And when I say that, I'm talking about from a standpoint of, like, taking pride in having said company that's black owned, and, like you said, develop a value chain of being able to cycle our people through it, and which brings them out as, financially stable, right? We don't have to be extravagant and say millionaires, but it brings them through as financially stable, right? Once they go through this value chain, you go from this company to this company to this company, or from point A to point B to point C. And by the time you get out of point C, you're making 100,000 a year, but it's coming through our channels that are actually black owned, black ran, and black controlled. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't care about that. They don't want to do that. Like, these are the channels that exist within every other community. How many times have you seen? And I don't know.
It's within the vested interest of the people who pay them that money to make sure that they don't spend that kind of money to start those kind of things. Because once those kind of things start, it's going to take away from the amount of money that they have to be able to coerce and bribe people with.
Exactly. Like, think about how many times, because I thought about this before. I don't think we've discussed this, though. How many times I've seen, like, I live out in here in LA, right? South Central. Shout out to Torian. I haven't said that I stay in South Central in a minute. He's at every video. I got to make sure I say I live in South Central. But, like, I'm out here, right? I'm outside, and you'll see these nail shops pop up, stuff like that. Hair, supply stores or whatever pop up. We'll just stick with the nail shop, though. Because a nail shop, a typical nail shop, they'll have employed in there like at least over 10 people. You know what I mean? At least over 10. And you'll see these nail shops pop up, bro, and there's never a help wanted sign. You'll see that, like, we'll just say a storefront in a plaza. It's being, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's being re-renovated. They're just kind of fixing it up a little bit. Maybe somebody bought it. They're fixing it up. You see the sign goes up that says going to be a nail shop. Okay, cool, bet. And then all of a sudden, it's just open with employees. And we all know who the employees are, right? We all know who that. And it's just open, though. There's never a help wanted sign. Because that's what Rob is talking about concerning a value chain, with the AAPI community, right? As soon as it opens, they already have the employees ready to rock.
Yep.
That value chain is in place, right? Where folks from the Asian community, as soon as that nail salon is open, file right in there. No need for a help wanted sign. We're not checking for y'all out here in the community anyways. This is for us, and I'm not mad at that.
Me neither.
You can't.
I was talking about that in my live stream that I did earlier. There's an oil mine company in North Dakota where a lot of Ukrainian immigrants are coming to get jobs. They come in right in getting good jobs, paying a decent amount of money, based on the cost of living over there in North Dakota. And the reason why they had that in place for them is because the individual who owns that oil mine is the son of he's a second generation Ukrainian. So he sees that the Ukrainians are having issues. They're coming to the United States during the war that's going on with them versus Russia. And he says, here, I got jobs where I'm going to teach y'all jobs and skills. They did an article about it in Politico.
Yeah, there it is. But, once again, coming back to, the black community and whatnot, for the longest time, and I think like kind of the hang up that the black community had with black celebrities is that coming off of, we'll just say, the civil rights movement, right? Coming off from that era, there was always the idea that if more of us just had like money like that for real, right? If there were more of us who were millionaires or financially secure, thousandaires, whatever, upper middle class, if there were just more of us that had, we'd be better off because now we can really do for self. You get what I'm saying? That's like kind of the idea, right? Because civil rights movement, there was obviously all these hurdles, right? So if we just had more, we could do more with one another. Now, post civil rights movement, how many black millionaires do we have? Right? How many financially secure, upper middle class black folks do we have? And you see the result is the same,
Right.
And if not, honestly, it's not the same. It's regressed because you can't say it's the same when the black median wealth is trending to 0 by 2053. It's not the same. It's gone back with more black millionaires.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's crazy. Because, despite having more black millionaires, despite us having, more money now than ever, it's on an individual level concerning millionaires and those that are upper middle class. The trends are actually going backwards.
It's because of a culture of a lack of seeing any value in people's selves. Like I said, with the dollar, those celebrities, they don't really even want black people's dollars. Like you said, they want the black dollar to springboard, and then they want the dollars from everybody else. Now, again, I want to make sure that people don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying not to do business with other people. There are people that feel that there should be this Wakanda type segregationist business where you just go to Wakanda and do business amongst yourself, despite the fact that there's an entire globe of people and opportunities to make more money. It should just be centered. You should only do business amongst yourself. That's not what I'm saying. There's a such thing as called prioritization. First, you prioritize doing business with yourself to make sure that your businesses stay stable. And then once you've done business to maintain stability, then you look outward for other opportunities for trading and outsourcing and different things like that. Like, it is really not rocket science. And everybody knows that it's not rocket science. Everybody knows how to do basic business. Everybody knows how to do basic business. They know how to do basic business in the street. You think that anybody that's a black person is just buying their raw materials for drug manufacture from African connects? No, it's not how that works. They're getting them from South Americans. They're getting
my fellow Africans.
Yeah, they're not doing the whole my fellow Africans thing. Now, they might talk that stuff when they get into county or when they get into population and state prison, but they're not talking that stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to stop with this illusionary nonsense that we do and actually talk in terms of reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to set in place a value chain. Once you set in place a value chain, and once you get your value chains, the links in the value chain stable, then you can do commerce and business, outside, as long as you maintain stability and you maintain some control over a power dynamic. But for whatever reason, you can tell that there is a cultural lack of awareness on how to properly do those kind of things, in addition to outside initiative from the people who are actually paying the paycheck to discourage people from doing activities that would allow that kind of thing to formulate. Because let's just say, for instance, Tyler Perry is getting all this money from Hollywood, right? And then Tyler Perry starts setting up a value chain. That value chain is going to cut into the people like Harvey Weinstein and what they're trying to do. Now, those people got to control everything. They got to control everything until they don't. But for some reason, people act as if us being tyrannical, being competitive, and actually putting targets on people as far as, we're going to knock this person out of the box on the business side. That's a bad thing. And the reason why is because people like Jamie Foxx, people like Neo, they're scared. They're scared. If they actually understood the business dynamics and our dollars meant anything to them, they'd be like, man, I ain't saying I'm not giving an apology about nothing, man. My people got me. It is what it is. You muted, bro.
But as we can see, like coming back to the main point, is the point that you were making. At the end of the day, they just don't care. And I find it interesting that it always seems the one who just don't care that are the ones that are in positions that could be able to do the most, but make it a point not to. It's like,
that's an accident?
I'm not going to do nothing. I don't
Remember,
believe
those people are hired. They go through an application process and they are selected. Those are probably some of the traits that they look at as part of the selection process, because that kind of thing happening so often, repeatedly over so many years, cannot be just random.
Yeah. It's not, at that point, it's not an accident.
Yeah.
It's intentional and deliberate. You know, when you get onto that level on mainstream success, you're not there on accident. You're not there by happenstance. You're there because at this point, we've deemed you as safe.
Right.
You're safe to have a platform this big because we know you're not gonna do anything too crazy with it. What we deem is crazy, right? Which is like, helping your people.
Right.